I-18 female graduated high school a year early and decided instead of taking a break, I wanted to start college immediately, so I did a semester at a community college last year just to get ahead. And now I moved on to campus to finish my degree. I live with my mom, 42, and her husband, Ryan, 48, halfway through high school. Because my siblings, Amy Tween and Liam Pre-Tween, wanted me around, and I wanted to see them too before I started doing adult stuff and got too busy to come around as often as much as I love being near my brother and sister. I hated living in the same house as Ryan, because he and his family weren't shy about the fact that they didn't really like me. When he and my mom first got together, it was like I was being purposely excluded from everything he and his family would invite us to on holidays. I'd have a seat at the table, but no one would really talk to me. I'd be asked to take pictures instead of being in them, and any time I tried to make an effort to be included, I was always told that it was just for the family. Not me. It got worse when they had my siblings. Because then I would have to sit on the sidelines and watch as my brother and sister were enthusiastically accepted and wanted by Ryan's family. At the same time, they made it blatantly obvious that they didn't want anything to do with me. Sometimes, Ryan would schedule family outings, but find a way to leave me at home, or he'd just say I wasn't invited. The last straw was when Ryan's sister got my mom a Mother's Day gift a few years ago. It was a locket with a picture of my brother and sister in it, and she said it was so my mom could always have her 2 children close to her heart. My mom didn't say anything about me. She didn't even glance in my direction, so I stopped trying and just accepted that I'd never be a real part of her new family because I just wasn't wanted there. I'd been slowly packing my things up for the past year, either taking them to my dad's house or getting them ready to go to my dorm. So on Saturday, when the move-in day started, I put everything I planned on taking into my car and drove myself to campus. My dad met me there and we decorated my room together. My mom thought I was just spending the weekend with my dad, so when I told her that I wasn't going to be coming back during the week because I'd moved in already, she got really upset. I mentioned the dates to her weeks ago, but I guess she forgot and she ended up assuming I was having a regular weekend. She said it was hurtful that I would exclude her from this huge moment in my life, and that as my mom, it's her job to be there for this journey. And me, I told her that she's been letting my husband exclude me from her life since the day they started dating, and because that never seemed to bother her. I didn't think it would be a big deal for me to do it too. I felt justified in this at first, but I could tell it hurt her feelings, and now I'm starting to think I may be the idiot. Not the idiot she allowed you to be cut out of her new family, so next time she calls, ask her how many children she wears next to her heart and then go live your best life. Actions have consequences. Mom now has the consequences. Yeah, why she never said, "Oh, but I have 3 children," or "Opie is family." They should be in this picture or event. She chose to leave you out because it would ruin the harmony of her new family. Your mom didn't want to start anything negative with Ryan, and your relationship suffered her finally noticing when it's too late. Is not your guilt to carry, it's her and Ryan's. What's particularly annoying about the stepdad's family is that Opie is only 8 years older than the first half sibling. So she was likely just 6 or 7 when her mom and Ryan married, possibly even younger. So who the heck treats a small child like that and continues to exclude a child over the years? My best guess is Ryan has a lot of money and Mommy doesn't want to rock the boat. Opie, you told your mother the date you'd be moving onto campus several times, so she would have remembered if it was that important to her to be there. I'm sorry, But your mom reaped what she sowed. My 25 female nephew passed away 1 year ago because of cancer. It was right on my birthday and there was no celebration. There was nothing because everyone was devastated. My sister Denise is still grieving. She's in therapy and making some progress. But it's been slow, my family, and I try to be as supportive as possible. Birthdays in my family are very important. We throw huge parties, I believe, and have been taught the birthdays are important and should be cherished. Yesterday was my birthday, obviously. I felt bad about the anniversary of my nephew's death, but I was also a little down about not being able to celebrate like I used to. And my girlfriend knew that, so in the morning I went to Denise's house and stayed by her side until almost lunchtime when my mother would stay with her. We didn't want to leave her alone, but no one could stay all day. I went to work, and at night my girlfriend made me a surprise at home with a candlelit dinner and a small cake. Something very intimate for both of us. Since my family was in a bad way, I didn't post on social media. But my girlfriend posted a picture of us holding hands and the dinner she made with happy birthday love. My mom and Denise follow her on Instagram. I woke up the next day to hundreds of texts from my mom and Denise asking if I was celebrating, even though it was such a sad day, and how heartless I was to celebrate, knowing my sister was in such a bad way. Even though I said it was a surprise, they called me cold, heartless, and insensitive to the pain of others, saying I should have refused to celebrate. I was just glad I celebrated because it's something important to me. And I didn't even realize it when my girlfriend posted this photo on Instagram, by the way. In case you were wondering, none of them remembered it was my birthday. Am I the idiot? I thought you'd throw in a big raucous birthday party. Nope. You had dinner with your girlfriend. In no way were you or your partner insensitive to your sister. If anything, I would consider a quiet, intimate dinner instead of a large event a very respectful way to acknowledge your birthday without being excessive. So not the idiot, it was literally the smallest private moment with a photo you spent a decent portion of the day grieving with your sister. Worked and had a small private moment at home with your partner. Your partner was also very respectful of the gravity of the day, but made sure you were still acknowledged. I can't imagine how you could have been more respectful, and low-key it was. You and your... So does Denise expect you never to celebrate your birthday again? That's exactly what Denise expects. Don't get me wrong, I also feel for Denise. But I wouldn't personally blame you if you'd had a giant bash. Though I can see how others would think it was in bad taste that they flipped out over a small cake and dinner with your... So is just unreasonable if I was Opie's sister. I would of course not be celebrating her birthday for at least a year or two, but I certainly wouldn't blow up on her for having a little celebration with her. Mrs. Your mom is the closest to an idiot she lost her grandson, but it's also her daughter's birthday. She can't let you be forgotten every year, especially when it's a huge family tradition for everyone else. This happened at my wedding. I'm detail-oriented and meticulously planned our wedding with my husband. Everything was color-coordinated and everything was aesthetically pleasing. Our colors were pink and black. I wanted my parents and grandparents also to wear our wedding colors, so the wedding photos would be cohesive. I specifically spoke with each person and told them the color scheme and how I would like everyone to color coordinate. Nobody had an issue with this. So I thought those sets of husband's grandparents went out shopping to find clothes to match our wedding party. They thought that was so cute and appreciated it immensely. My mom and I went shopping for my grandparents because they asked us to. So they were also matching. I offered to take my mother-in-law shopping to pick out something to wear, but she declined and said she would go with her friends. I said okay, and kind of forgot about it on the night of the rehearsal. My mom asked my mother-in-law what she's wearing, and she responds with a long dress in the wedding colours. The next day, I'm getting ready in the bridal suite, and my mother-in-law moses on in and is wearing a royal purple ball gown. She doesn't wear makeup that often, and I was shocked to see she was wearing neon blue eyeshadow and bright pink lipstick. Also, her husband wore a matching tie. I was livid but ignored it because I didn't want it to ruin my big day. My father-in-law asked me how he looked during pictures, and I responded, "You and mother-in-law stick out like big sore purple thumbs." He asked what that meant, and I told him they knew the dress code. Now they look out of place. He said he wore what was given to him and would relay the message to my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law approached me later in the night and asked me about my issue. I asked why she lied about her outfit choice. She said she never bought a dress that would go with our wedding colours and planned on wearing the purple dress. She found it was more true to her, and that's what mattered. I said that's fine. I'll fix the pictures in post-production. She said I would not adjust anything they paid for the pictures, and I would not alter anything. I said any picture I post with her, and it will be altered on my end, so they have no control over what I do. I excused myself and enjoyed the rest of my wedding. My mother-in-law has a habit of making things about her and making little comments like, "Well, I am the mother of the groom." My opinion counts, or I can make decisions too. I'm the groom's mother, and we are helping pay for this wedding. My parents paid for 70 of the wedding. My in-laws paid for the photographer and the rehearsal dinner. The photographer was their friend and only charged them $800 for the whole night. The rehearsal dinner cost $300 because they chose the cheapest options for everything possible. So am I the idiot for how I spoke to my mother-in-law and father-in-law? Not the idiot her big eyesore didn't turn out the way she wanted. Those are your photos, not hers. If they didn't intend those photos as a gift, meaning you get free reign, then they should have made that clear way before the wedding. Maybe it's just me, but it seems like mother-in-law purposely chose to pay for the photographer so she could pull this stunt at your wedding. Mother-in-law missed her opportunity to show up in all black funeral attire and be technically justified by the colour scheme. Amazing, she must not have thought of it. Your mother-in-law is an attention seeker. Go ahead and alter the pictures just to be funny. Why not alter one picture so everyone wears purple and mail that to her? Everyone's the idiot. Here, you all sound exhausting. Whether the attention-seeking or the micromanaging are wedding colour codes. A new thing, are they? An American thing. Mother-in-law obviously finds you insufferable. And fired back her choice was obnoxious and just made her look bad, so she clearly wanted to look out of place. Let her. It's not like you'll be hanging a picture with her in it over your bed. Instead, display the pictures with your husband and have a chuckle at mother-in-law's immaturity while you work on letting go and unclenching a bit. My sister and I are currently fighting over this. So I need to know if I did something wrong. I, female 33, have two sisters, Hannah 40 and Sarah 41. Sarah has two kids. Gina, a female, tween an Alec male, nearly adult. Hannah has one daughter, Faye, a female teen. Sarah's family is pretty well off. Her kids have an easy life, and I'd say they're even somehow spoiled. Hannah, however, is financially struggling. Faye's birthday was 3 days ago. I was thinking about what I should get her when I remembered she told me a while ago that her laptop was broken. I knew Hannah couldn't replace it. so I decided to buy a Chromebook for her. But then I remembered how much she always wanted to play games. So I decided it would be nice if someone spoiled her for once. So I bought a gaming laptop instead after her birthday. Sarah called and blew up at me. She said I'm an idiot because I always favour Faye. She said it's not fair that I gave Faye a gaming laptop but only bought a pair of shoes for Alec's birthday, or that I spend a lot more time with Faye, which is because Gina and Alec have spoiled, so I enjoy spending time with Faye. More over the past 3 days, she's told all our extended family this and called me a bunch of names on Facebook because I gave my niece a gaming laptop for her birthday. And she said, I'm an idiot because I gave her son a pair of shoes. Not the idiot tell your sister this wasn't a group decision and you don't need her input on how to spend your money. She's well off and her kids probably lack for nothing. If she pushes the issue, point that out. Ask her how she thinks Faye feels seeing her cousins with nice things that her mother can't afford. Turn that around on her and point out how the underprivileged child is allowed to get nice things too, even if it's not from her parents, and that she should be doing the same thing to help her niece and sister. It's not even a matter of favourites. It's sheer economics. She can afford whatever is needed for her kids. Your mutual sister can't if she can't wrap her head around that. Then that's her problem, not yours. Yeah, I think the question that Sarah poses is fundamentally flawed. It's not a question of why Up is helping out her sister, who's a struggling single mom, but why Sarah is heartless, selfish, and even cruel if she's well off. She should have been the one to buy her niece a laptop, not telling off Up for stepping up and helping out. I don't think you're wrong to want to support your niece in a way her mom can't. But I also know children don't look at scenarios like this and see it in a pragmatic sense. Instead, they see that their aunt likes them less than their cousin, and that feels crappy. Agree everyone's the idea here. So many peeps say your money, your choice, which is true. But that's not what the situation is about. One kid is getting more than the other. To attention and monetary value, and their mom Sarah is mad about it. Sarah was being a dumb idiot and spoiled, but Opie is favouring one, nibbling over the others, and even expressing it in a quantifiable way. Kids don't understand equity or privilege, but they do understand family gifts and fairness. And they'll remember this. I'm 31 female and part of a friend group that meets for dinner about twice a month. There are 6 or 8 of us that go together depending on schedules, and we take turns picking restaurants. We want to try, and for the most part we seem to have similar tastes last year. One of my friends, Jen, asked if we could include a friend, Kate, who had just moved to our city. Jen knew Kate from college, and since Kate was new in town, Jen thought this would be a nice way for her to develop social connections without too much hassle or pressure. Turns out, Kate is really nice and funny, and is now good friends with all of us. However, Kate has a pretty serious seafood allergy. Like, not just selfish or just fish all seafood. She's not deathly allergic, more likely to break out in hives type allergic. This hasn't been an issue since we live in the Midwest, and there are few seafood specialty restaurants near us. We tried a few before Kate moved here, but none of them were worth risking Kate's allergy to return to. That was until a new sushi restaurant opened up about 4 months ago. My husband and I went, and it was amazing. We then went on a double date with another friend and her husband, and they loved it too. So when it was my turn to pick the next restaurant, I suggested we go to this sushi place. A few other women said they wanted to try that place too. But then Jen spoke up, reminded us of Kate's food allergy, and asked if I could pick a different restaurant. Unfortunately, the sushi place doesn't sell much of anything that isn't seafood. Yes, they have some dumplings and edamame type stuff for appetizers, but that's pretty much it, not exactly a full meal. But I did the nice friend thing and picked a different restaurant we could all eat at the next week. Though I asked the other girls who wanted to try the sushi place if they wanted to go with me, and they accepted. It wasn't part of our normal scheduled dinners. Just a few of us, but word got around that a smaller group of us had gone to the sushi place and didn't include everyone. Jen, Kate and another friend were upset that the rest of us had gone somewhere without them. They felt we were purposely excluding people. But to me, this isn't middle school. We're allowed to do things as friends outside of the full group. And since Kate has a food allergy, it makes sense that she doesn't attend a meal like this. We still have our normal scheduled dinners this time. A smaller group went to a restaurant that another friend couldn't eat at. Like if I wanted to exclude Kate, I could have just stood firm on eating at the sushi place to begin with. But I didn't. But Jen and Kate think I crossed a line by going behind their backs to eat with just a few of us. And that I'm trying to create division in our group. So now people are taking sides and pointing fingers, and it's a whole mess. Not the idiot you picked a different place for her with the whole group. You just decided to go to that restaurant with the interested group of friends. Later, they can't expect you never to eat seafood just because one person in the group can't. Chen comes off more like Kate's mother than a friend when multiple people expressed interest in the seafood restaurant. Jen should have backed off. Kate is a grown woman. She can decide for herself if she wants to go to the restaurant and eat a few seafood-free appetizers or sit this one. Restaurant out. Now, I think it was nice of Jen to advocate for Kate in this little way. Kate's new to the city, and Jen invited her to join their dinner group as a way to make friends. Everyone likes Kate, and Jen reminded them of Kate's allergy, so Kate didn't have to feel she was creating an imposition on people. She doesn't know very well. Seems like decent, socially aware behavior all round. She was introduced to this friend group last year, and it's ridiculous to be angry and caused so much drama because some of the group decided they wanted sushi and went to get it. Geez, OP, you nailed it when you said that this isn't middle school and you're allowed to do things outside the group.